When a police officer becomes a first responder, a couple milliseconds can decide the outcome in a life or death situation. The Harrisonburg Police Department practiced these situations Monday afternoon at Eastern Mennonite High School.
In today's day and age, we see more and more of these mass shootings across the country, and it is something that the police absolutely need to be prepared for. Ultimately, our response to that is going to be much greater the more that we practice.
With the help of volunteers playing victims and officers taking the role of the bad guy, HPD made sure to take the most of those fateful milliseconds. They entered into auditoriums and hallways repetitively, each time the situation a little different. The shooter and the victims throwing new problems at first responders every time.
It's going to give us that training that we're going to revert back to in an instant like this, where we're going to be a little bit more composed. That's going to really impact the people that are affected the most. We're going to be better for them the more that we train now.
In Harrisonburg, Johnny Oliver, WHSV.
And it just shook the buildings and rattled the windows. Everybody stopped around me, and then everybody was wondering, what was that?
Okay, I have multiple people down here, okay? I don't know what the cause is. Stand by.
As madness unfolded after two terrorists bombed the Boston Marathon in 2013, Fred Oslin was celebrating as he crossed the finish line. His wife captured the moment commemorating his accomplishment.
We took that picture not knowing what had happened, but people on their cell phones trying to figure out what that noise was.
Unlike so many others, Fred made it out of Boston okay, but a year later, he was worried about his own well-being.
I got a call from my doctor that was just a huge punch in the gut that it was a tumor.
Fred was diagnosed with cancer. He battled through 6 weeks of chemotherapy at Sentara RMH, and now he is succeeding in more than just his battle against cancer. For the first time since 2013, Fred will run the Boston Marathon, but this time he is doing it for more than himself.
This is going to be a really thrilling thing to do. Part of my motivation is a friend of mine, after I had qualified, passed away. He had been diagnosed earlier with kidney cancer.
Fred is running the marathon. He is beating cancer, and he is raising money to honor his friend. After passing his initial goal of $5,000, he did what he always does, set a new goal. He now hopes to raise $8,000. He does not know if he will reach it, but one thing is for certain.
This one is going to be special.
In Seniors Glen, Johnny Oliver, WHSV.
Thanks to hundreds of volunteers for Defiance High School, Stuart Gordon Middle School, and Clymore Elementary get a touch-up. WHSV's Johnny Oliver has the sights and sounds of this extreme school makeover.
About 10 years ago, we were going through a pretty bad depression. Money was tight and nobody had a lot of extra money to do anything. Extreme makeover was a big hit on TV. So everybody was kind of into that momentum. So I said, why don't we play off that a little bit and see if we can get our schools to do the same thing. So now I've got grandkids entering Clymore, and I think, you know what, this is the 10-year anniversary. Why don't we see if we can make this thing even bigger, make it even more of a community thing? And I dare say I know we had 200 people here. The question is whether we had 250 or 300. That many people doing all these little individual jobs, including students. I mean, there were teachers here. I mean, there were community people that just care about the community.
To help make the school look a little bit better and just to clean everything up.
I painted and helped mulch because I'm a hard-working boy.
We know we're doing great things inside. We wanted to have the outside look like the inside is. We're proud of our students and what they do and want the outside to reflect that.
I don't want the accolades for this. It's like organically it just grew. And it's because there's a sense of pride.
The entrance to the Shenandoah County Sheriff's Office is a little bit unusual. First, you have to go down this ramp, and if you can't tell, it's a little bit dark. Then you go through this door, and you find yourself in this lobby, and if you can tell, it's a little bit old and it's a little bit small. This is in the basement of a building that was built in the 1970s. This river is really high right now. Now, to my right, there you can see this fence. This fence is hiding a backyard from you, and that backyard is pretty much all the way underwater. Now we're going to come back over this way, and if you take a look over here at the river, I'm not sure if you all can see it, but there have been a lot of branches. We've even seen a tree stump or two go through the river. It's moving pretty fast right now, and there's a lot of tree branches overall. And now if we just keep on turning around here, there are some that are enjoying this flooding. The ducks out here probably enjoying it more than all the homeowners along the river. Now, people have been coming and going, taking pictures with their cell phones, showing how high the river is. Even talked to one man just a few minutes ago who said that this is the highest he has ever seen this river, going all the way back to 96. Well, Bob and Nina, election officials across Harrisonburg today tell me that there was a big voter turnout this morning, and even in quieter times later on in the afternoon, it was still busier than expected. The reason for that emergency order? Well, Rocking R is nearly sold out of its generators already. And if you don't believe me, just take a look here. This is the shelf where the generators normally go, and as you can see, there aren't any left right here. There is a disturbing new trend in Virginia. The amount of teens who have died because they are not buckling up has doubled. This is where Elizabeth and Angie were last seen at Dukes Plaza in Harrisonburg. Now, police tell us today that as of yesterday, the search has changed. Harrisonburg Police Department is now using a different method to search for Elizabeth and Angie.